welcome to an evening with Casey B. Dolan. Can we all just give ourselves a warm hand of applause? I was saying to Casey, anyone that comes out on a night like tonight is either really crazy or really loves her. So either one of the two I'll gladly take. My name is Leigh-Anne Williams, and yes, I'm from Espresso Morning Show and from Kwela Books as well. And I've known Casey for a while, but I think the first time that I truly got to have a good, meaty conversation with her was when I got to do the book review for her book, An Appetite for Peace, which, I mean, I absolutely devoured. It did not take me 4 months. I think it took me like maybe 2 or 3 days. It was that good. For anybody who doesn't know Casey, which I think we all pretty much know her, she's an acclaimed actress, radio DJ, she's a columnist, she is a party till something gets broke. You know, she's a host of different things, and I think when she added the cap of being an author as well, it was something that was quite interesting. And I remember the first thing when I saw the book, I was like, I'm so interested to see what Casey B. Dolan would be writing about. Now, being in the entertainment industry, I thought, oh my word, she's writing on how to make it in like the celebrity world and all that. But what I found was it was an incredibly candid, truthful, beautiful, real, sad story. It made you cry, it made you laugh. But the honesty of it was, I think, it was so amazing. As a woman myself, and I said to her, I admire you for being so honest, for documenting your life, because I think it's something that we all long for, to be able to walk like an open book, and she was able to achieve that. And I think when you meet Casey, the one thing you always know is you're going to get honesty and truthfulness whether you like it or not. From saying, you know, she's going to tell it like it is. And I think that's quite amazing today. Now, Casey has brought her newest endeavor to the table, and that's why we're here tonight. Her first novel, When the Bough Breaks. And I didn't want to get into this book before because the one mistake that I made on Espresso when she came on was I was so excited to get into An Appetite for Peace. I think I might have given the plot away long before. Not that there was a plot, not that your life is a plot, I'm saying. But there was so much to talk about. And I think with this one, you know, one really just wants to get into the author herself, the woman, what are the themes behind it, why did she decide to write it. But before we get there, can we all just say a very warm good evening to the beautiful Miss Casey B. Dolan. Now, Casey, before we get into the book,
we're having mic issues.
I can see that. That's why I just kept rambling and rambling and rambling. Before we get into the book, you are an incredibly busy woman. I don't know if any of you got to see the movie Confetti, but it literally blew up the South African box office in its opening weekend. It also went on to be nominated for some international awards, one of which Casey actually brought home. We are celebrating South African talent tonight. Please tell us about the Julian Dubuque Award that she won for Best Actress in a Motion Picture. Congratulations.
I'm going to do this again. That's the low days, and then let's do this again. Well, basically, I was phoned, it was quite weird. Janet is here somewhere, and we were sitting with the kids, a single parent, and Misty and Janet and I were all sitting, and you know, wiping stuff that comes out of kids. And, you know, just doing our normal motherhood thing, and the next thing I got this phone call, and they said, how do you feel about going to the USA? And I said, oh, well, I feel great. Like, who wouldn't? That sounds nice. Why? And they said, because you've just been nominated for an International Film Award for Best Actress. So basically, this festival, it's been named one of the coolest 25 international festivals in the world. And Confetti was put on the billing. 200 films were submitted. Confetti was chosen as one of the 50 to be billed. And then they chose 3 nominees out of all of those films for Best Actress. And then by some miraculous moment in time, I managed to actually win the award, which Leigh-Anne, is that I think there was such a can-do attitude about the space and the place that I went to that I wanted to bring home. Not only in the things that I do, because I'm constantly pushing myself, constantly trying to find new space to do new things, especially in terms of writing and expressing myself. Because for me, acting and writing are, in this very strange way, very connected. Because when I act, I'm expressing myself, and when I write, I'm expressing myself. It's just different stories and different words. And when I spend time with a whole bunch of international filmmakers, and I realize that there's no barriers. So when we're here, a lot of the time I hear a lot of no's. I hear a lot of people very afraid. So when you say, I'd like to do this, they go, oh, well, that's going to be expensive, or that sounds like it's going to be a lot of work. And what I loved was there, I said, well, how about we do this? They were like, sure, yeah, let's try that. And I was like, wow, that's something I really want to bring back here, home, to the community, and just start doing pretty amazing things, both in the artistic realm, the creative realm, and also for women, and it's something I feel very passionate about. It's probably the reason I've written women's fiction, because I feel very, very passionately about doing something for women and about women, especially in South Africa, because we are in a disempowered space most of the time. So I really appreciate, as many of you that have shown up tonight, me and my can-do attitude with the rain, I probably would have bailed if it wasn't like that. So thanks for coming, I really appreciate that.
Wow, that's awesome. Well done once again for winning that Best Female award. Now, when I first came across an advertisement piece, and I think a lot of people that maybe know you from all of the different things that you've done in your life, maybe picked up the book and, I think the thing that we oftentimes say to people that are on such a public platform is, what could this person possibly have to say that I would want to read? And then you go and you read it, and it's so poignant, and it's such a powerful story of your life, and it's such a truthful story, and it's your truth. A lot of people maybe sitting here tonight might have the same kind of dreams and aspirations, and a lot of people are moms. We've got our responsibilities, we have got our kids, and you come to the middle of your life and you're saying, what? I still have these dreams, because I think a lot of us, we put things on the back burner. We have kids and we have jobs, and there's still dreams and aspirations that are on the back burner. And then you attempt, and you do it very well, and you write a book in the middle of your life, in the midst of everything else. Why is it so important that we never, ever, ever let go of those initial dreams and aspirations that we have in the light of being moms, and in the light of being wives, and in the light of being everything else?
I think I'm surrounded by mostly moms here tonight, and so you all know how extraordinarily difficult it is to have a career and keep maintaining that trajectory of that career going upwards and not so much downwards, and still do a good job with motherhood. I have to say that I fail every day. I feel like I work my arse off trying to do the best I can as a mom. I pick myself up every day with all the guilt that I bear, going, oh my gosh, some of the times I've had play dates and the kids are coming through and I'm going, he put his heart throbbing. Oh sure, darling, no problem, just go to the waters in the kitchen. It's a hell of a thing trying to juggle, the writing realm, especially the kind of stuff I put in my books. With being a mom, but sorry, that gave me but there was something someone sent me on Mother's Day, and it said, mothers are angels who clip their wings so that their children can fly. I cried, I did, because I've had a lot of offers and a lot of stuff over the years, especially during motherhood. I did some Hollywood films and I did stuff like that, and I was made some offers. And I turned them down so that I could be a better mother for my son. It doesn't make me great, it doesn't mean anything. It just means that as mothers, we know that. We know what it means to sacrifice something so that you can do something bigger. And for me, part of writing came from that format, was I was going, there's no way I'm going to be able to pursue my acting dreams and work 18 hours on a set a day. and still be there for my little boy. I'm a single parent, so it's extremely difficult trying to juggle time. I know it's difficult for everybody, but definitely as a single mom and I don't have family here, it's a hell of a thing trying to juggle this life. So I decided to do what I've always been passionate about. As I say, writing and acting for me are very, very connected because they're expression and they're stories, and I love to tell stories. And so I decided to, as James said, okay, you want the real lowdown on how this started. I had my first 4 days off of being a mom. My son went over to Joburg, and I read 50 Shades of Grey. And I loved it. Not the writing, the fun. I was like, oh man, there's something still alive inside me. That's kind of cool. And I thought, well, the writing's not that great. I can do better than that. So let me start there. And so that's why James, my publisher, had a bit of a heart attack when I said, I'm going to write the next 50 Shades. He was like, right. And then what happened, as I think many writers, there are a few really amazing writers here tonight, they're in the audience. What you find is suddenly the book writes itself. Within 39 pages, I was crying because I'd written myself into a corner. I didn't know how I was going to make 50 Shades happen out of what was going on in the book. And I suddenly wrote a story. It wrote itself, as well as obviously I had to think you're constantly juggling ideas. But it wrote itself in that I suddenly found the voice of this person, of this woman, who is a mother, who is a mother struggling with all the issues that I think a lot of moms feel at various points in motherhood, and maybe just a little more profoundly or magnified in this book. It suddenly became something that I was totally obsessed with doing every single day. So I wrote morning and night, which, so I would write the minute I dropped Quinn, my son, at school. I'd quickly run the dogs and have all these thoughts going on in my head and be writing notes as I was going on tunes, and then run back and spend 2 hours writing. And then I'd go and fetch him from school, and as I say, it's really difficult because you're in these two worlds. And you suddenly, the teacher's going, well, he had a tantrum earlier, and I put him in the corner, and you're like, what? Who? So it became kind of really difficult. And then I would put him to sleep at night and spend another 2 hours writing. And that's what I did for 5 months until the book was done. And to have it accepted internationally before it even launched here, it's, for me, everything that I do, so when I look at what's happened internationally for the film and I look at what's happened internationally for my book, I feel like it just gives South Africans hope. Yeah. It's like saying, you can do this. And I'm not special. I just worked hard and I was dedicated and devoted to doing something I was passionate about. But if you really love what you do and you do what you love and you do it with everything you can go anywhere. We're a global society now. I mean, I never thought I'd be winning awards in the USA for acting. For a little Afrikaans film, it was quite weird. And then listening to them, I sat through four viewings. It's a 4-day festival, and hearing them laughing. At one point, Lo Fenter went, so, and they all burst out laughing. And I was like, no way! They got that. They really, that he was translating. And I think we've got really special stories to tell. We're really special people and really special things to do. And I really feel that that's part of my journey in doing well, doing what people consider successful, is also saying, I think everyone can. I think.
To getting into a little bit more about when the bough breaks. Someone once said, when you don't know what to write what you know. And you know your life, you know everything that you've come from, and you told your life story with an appetite for peas, but now you're bringing us something completely different. You're bringing us a novel. Tell us a little bit, without giving too much away, exactly what was the inspiration?
Well, the inspiration didn't go that route. But here's the thing, is that moment. But what happened in the memoir was really easy. I knew the plot points, I knew the characters really well, because one of them's not talking to me anymore, that's my dad, just incidentally. But anyway, that happened. But I knew the storyline, I knew what I wanted to write. And then I wanted to write something so far removed from myself, so far removed from my personality, that I still obviously understood. I mean, we're women, we understand that mindset, but I didn't want to write me. So every time I wrote something cheeky, or a little bit sarcastic, or a little bit too honest, I had to delete. So it was like 5 lines forward, 3 lines back, 5 lines forward, 3 lines back, because I had to get this voice of someone who wasn't me at all. And I loved doing that. It was very challenging. I called it like a boxing match. Every single day I used to get into the ring and I used to fight myself every single day. I have a little piece of the book I can read if you're... Are you keen? Yeah. Okay. I hope it's not boring if I give it. I want to put you off the book.
I think a question maybe all of us are hoping you'd say yes to is, are there some 50 Shades moments in here?
Oh, hell yes.
Oh, which page?
Oh yeah, it's kind of steamy. There's a bit of everything in this book. It's a book about being a woman, so, you know, we're complex creatures. Okay, I'm going to read, so I'm going to need a little bit of silence, because otherwise I feel like, you know, no one's listening. I didn't dare break the spell between the boys, lest Tyler regress, so I observed from the safest possible distance, and simply ensured that their needs were met. Wade, meanwhile, was bathed in relief and instantly began behaving as if the last 5 months were a bad dream. Time for daisies and sunshine, he said, smiling, filled with joy at Tyler's turnaround and the pleasure of our Bostonian summer. Say you'll come, Blossoms, please. It's not too late. You can wear the pink Armani I bought for you last summer. You can meet some of my colleagues' wives, dance with me. I can't wait. Not yet. Josh has only been here a short while, and anything could happen. This was about a fortnight into Joshua's stay. I was heading down the passage to the bedroom. The boys were in Tyler's room, headphones on, playing games. Sway those perfect hips, Wade continued as if he hadn't heard me. He extended his arm, pulling me into him, and I snapped. Haven't you put me through enough? Am I not absolved of playing your perfect wife for just this one time? My son changes like tides overnight, and you expect me to want fucking daisies and sunshine. I can't be you, Wade. I can't be with you. The sight of you makes me sick. Wade was taken aback. I know you're upset, but that is... I had cut him where he would bleed. You just don't say that. You just don't say that. He slid past me. I felt myself spinning and sat down on the wooden floor, breathing, calming myself. The passage was tight, dark, and closing in on me. I found myself grasping for breath, spinning on a dead still floor that seemed to press into my shins, my exposed knees, my ankles, pressing, gnawing, clawing. Then out of nowhere, it's going to be all right, Mrs. Jones. And the sensation passed. For a moment I thought I might be losing my mind, that I'd finally started to hear voices. Then I spotted Joshua. He was standing outside Tyler's bathroom. How long had he been there? I scrambled to my feet, closing my cotton nightgown, still slightly dizzy. Thank you, Joshua. I'm sorry you witnessed that. It's just... I'm just a little tired. He walked up to me. For a moment I thought he may want to embrace me somehow. But he passed me, careful not to get too close in the narrow passage. He walked almost silently, and I couldn't help marveling at his calming presence as he drifted by. He looked back at me as he opened the door to Tyler's darkened room, my son still attached to his earphones, oblivious to the mayhem just outside his door. It was dark, but I could feel his green-brown eyes on me as they mumbled something. It took me a few seconds to decipher, and by then he was submerged into the secrecy of Tyler's room. You've been tired for far too long. From a 14-year-old boy, my son's best and only friend. It was impolite at best, but in that dim, cavernous passage, it soothed me. I felt heard, and I understood why Tyler benefited so much from having Joshua in his life. I turned on the passage light, ushering the peculiarity away, and made my way downstairs where I drank tea, avoiding my bedroom until I was certain the household was asleep. When I slipped into bed that night, Wade slid up to me, folding me into his arms, and I slept, without restlessness, for the first night since the incident.
I'm real glad that everybody's getting one. My goodness. Wow, that's awesome. What are you hoping that your readers are going to get out of this? I mean, that was an incredibly heartfelt piece. Like, I just want to keep on reading and reading.
Hopefully. I'm really hoping that happens. You know, I've always said, and I said this about my autobiography as well, I would never be so bold as to try and tell a reader what to get or what experience to have from the book. I just hope that you're entertained. I hope it keeps you reading, and I hope it inspires. You know.
Absolutely. Well, I think that when you started on this journey of being an author, you did not know that people were going to call you South Africa's version of Jodie Picoult. Nor did I think that you thought that they were going to call you the next Lauren Williams either, but you are Casey B. Dolan, and you are already busy with book number 3. Should we say anything about that yet, or should we just devour this one?
I think just devour this one, because I don't know what's going to happen with the third.